it seems that my brother's already.
Kill that man.
Oh. Oh, okay. Okay. Okay, there you go. He's dead. Okay. As I was saying, gang activity. So let's just get to the original point that I was getting. So my brother, he was in gang. He went to jail. He disappeared completely. The reason why, not like for the first time, like it was his third time. Basically, whenever you're an immigrant, you get 3 strikes. You either after 2 strikes, you're on a list that if you go to jail one more time, you're immediately deported. I think that's how it goes, right? Pretty sure, because it was just like after the third time he was deported completely to Mexico. So was my second eldest brother because he did stupid things as well, and because of that they were both deported. And one of them we know where the second oldest is, but the first one he just disappeared completely. I have a theory where he might be. Even my sister-in-law thinks where he might be. Not his wife, my other brother's wife, which he's technically back, kind of. But yeah. So his wife also thinks, just like I do, that he's in the cartel now. Doesn't that sound like a thing? Mm-hmm. Because the reason why we think that is because he's obviously gone to a Mexican prison. He is in Mexico. He has contacted nobody ever since he got deported there. And after he got deported, he just cut contact with us in the U.S. And we've never heard from him ever since. It's kind of sad that we don't know where one of our eldest brothers are. But at the same time, most likely he's doing it to protect our family because he's in the cartel. The reason why is because if you're in the cartel and you have family, they can use that as leverage against you. It's a thing where if you're not loyal to what they're after, you know, what they do and stuff, like kidnapping, drug dealing, whatever, all the cartel stuff that I've looked up and read about on articles and stuff. Yeah, so if you're not loyal to that cause, they can use your family as leverage to make you do what you're asked to do. And he's most likely, if he's there, he's not saying anything about it. He's not contacting us because he knows what will happen to us if he goes like against their word or something like that. Just like if he doesn't agree with what their one thing that they do, and maybe he might be like a very strong mob boss. I hope not, which is one thing that's kind of scary. You're one of your eldest brothers being a very scary person in the cartel. That's one thing I hope he's not doing, because he was a good guy, but he just made bad decisions after bad decision. Even though he had a wife, he had a kid, he was kind of happy for a while, and then just went all downhill, huh? Mm-hmm. It's kind of sad. It's kind of like seeing it was like the beginning of the end for him. After he got a wife and kid, like he started hanging out with his friends a lot more, and that just got him into a lot more trouble. And he was just gone. We never heard from him again. As I said, it's kind of sad. He was the firstborn, so my dad, he could be kind of like a tough person. He doesn't vocalize his feelings as much. Like, he grew up in, let's see, he was born in 1959. My mother was born in 1963, right? Yeah, 63. And so they're like 5 years apart. Back then, it was kind of legal-ish. It was legal to marry someone younger than you were. So he was 21 when 21, I'm pretty sure. 21, yeah, because they're 5 years apart. He was 21, she was 16, and they got married at that age. This is in Mexico, where things are different way back then. So there's no reason like you guys should be saying in the comments, "Oh, that's nasty," and blah blah blah. That's kind of rape. No, back then, either the reason why they did it is mostly because for financial things, right? More or less, because we've been to Mexico. They are poor. very poor. And it's better to shack up with a family that is okay. Well, they still weren't okay. But they did it so they either, I don't know how they met. We never heard the story of how they met. But more or less, they most likely got together. And they fell in love, I hope. I hope that's the thing. But yeah, so they were married at a pretty young age. Pretty young age. I put some coal inside the furnaces. If you want, you could take them and make torches.
Finally, man.
Yeah, so while I was talking, he was still doing that. And mining as well. Hold on. Yeah, you left enough space. Okay.
Alright, forget it.
I'll be making the house in the next time we do this.
Push him in.
Oh, alright. I'll
He's
push him in.
being a chode.
Alright. No, stop it. Okay. Put your body horizontal to the gates. Gate. There we go. Aha. So we've captured our first cow.
No, I just need one more so I can get to some free XP.
But yeah. So that was mainly some backstory. We have brothers. One of them was in the military. He's still he's in the reserves basically. And so whenever something bad will happen, he'll immediately get drafted because of his military background. But he was in Colorado, but he moved back to California because his wife's mother and her family is entirely in California, and she actually missed them so much that they had to move back. He wouldn't have moved because he doesn't care. He does care about us, but he's like, we can handle ourselves, basically. And he doesn't really. He keeps in touch, but at the same time, he doesn't. You know what I mean? He basically he deals with his own business and stuff like that, and he knows how our mother is and stuff. So he knows that nothing bad's gonna happen, especially with us being around and stuff. So there's no reason for him to worry about us. But unfortunately, his wife has his mom, her mom is incredibly sick. What was it? She has diabetes. I'm pretty sure it was that. Oh yeah, you weren't there. But yeah, so I kind of asked on accident. I was like, "Oh, what's wrong? What's sick? How are you sick?" She's like, "Oh, I have diabetes." I'm like, "Oh dear." Sorry, I asked about that. And like, you know, sometimes you don't mean to bring up a subject about like being sick, because I thought she was just like really ill, like to the point where she couldn't walk and stuff, but she can obviously walk. It was just that she had diabetes, and I didn't know that. And like, whenever I hear about things that are very bad, I kind of cringe at the fact that I asked in kind of insensitive. I didn't mean to, because I'm just curious. But whenever I find out that they were like they have cancer, or they have something like that, or something bad happened when they were younger, I kind of like cringe at the fact that oh no, did I just ask that in an insensitive way? Because you're supposed to do it. You're supposed to have some social cues on how you're supposed to ask people some things like that. Maybe after you get to know them and stuff. I just barely met the woman when she came over once, and I kind of asked which is why I like playing. It's not that I isolate myself by playing video games. It's just that I find this a lot more fun than a lot more. I guess you could say I'm a loser. Yeah. I do have friends. I had friends. I don't know where they are.
Friends? What are those?
What are those? I had friends. I don't know where they are now. I know where some of them are. I'm still friends with my best friend since kindergarten, and I have a friend who was from high school. I don't have a lot of their phone numbers because I never had a phone until until I had a phone before, but it was garbage, and I didn't use it as often, and there was no point of me using it, so I never used it that much. And so that first phone was basically one of those old phones that had no apps, nothing like that. It was just like a basic phone, but I didn't need it because I didn't have no function for it. The only thing I could use it for was calling. But most of the time, I had my own ways of getting home without having to contact my parents to pick me up from school and stuff like that. So the phone was basically useless, and I just stopped using it, and they just stopped paying for it, and then I didn't have it anymore, so I just stopped. And there's my first phone right there. But then they got me a new one later on in the future because I started having to need it for work, and they got me a phone. Now, since that was after high school, I'll tell you guys about the college shite along a lot of other things. The reason why I'm not in college right now is because a lot of other things happen, but I'll tell you guys about that another time. I'm coming up so we can go save. And
I made torches for days.
And I have a lot of things I gotta get rid of. I forgot to get rid of the stuff for the first time that I got there. I hope you guys are liking the commentary. Obviously, we're not professionals, so I will be saying a lot of like a lot of fillers. And my brother,
My ass hurts.
he hardly talks. I'm the one who has to do the talking, or I don't know when he wants to talk, whenever he wants to, I guess. But it's okay, I guess. It's fine. Hey, got some gold.
I put the torches in here.
Put the torches.
If you're interested in the stack.
I am not. What? It's good to know.
Look at this.
What was it
That's
talking about?
pathetic.
What was it talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, phone. Yeah, so I never got to ask them for their phone numbers or anything like that, and because of that, I hardly use Facebook as well. So, because there's nothing really I really want to post. Nothing I really want to post. You see, that's the thing I hate about myself. But let's get on to the thing.
Really want to post. Really want to post.
So there's nothing I want to post on Facebook, so I hardly go on Facebook. And all my friends are on Facebook. This is when Facebook was popular. But I stopped going to Facebook a lot, and because of that, I've lost contact, kind of. I'm still friends with them on Facebook and stuff like that. I just don't go on it. That's my problem. But, see, I kind of don't want to go back on Facebook because it's kind of awkward. A lot of awkward things happen at the end of my high school year. So, I tend to avoid using it. And plus, there's really no reason for me to be on there. Unless I'm talking to an old friend. But most of the time, I have two of their their phone numbers, so I don't have to worry about that. So yeah, that's my story. About my phone. Yeah, my phone. Useless piece of technology. I kind of think of phones as... okay, you guys could disagree about this, about my opinion about phones, but back then, we grew up poor, as I said. So for the first time when we got phones, we were like, "Oh, this is cool. We have a house phone." We thought those were like cell phones. We literally thought those were cell phones. That's how stupid we were back then.
Every time somebody would ask me for my number for something, I'll be like, I have a house phone. They'll be like,
"You don't have a cell phone?"
They'll be like, "Alright, never mind. I don't need your number."
Yeah, because nobody wants to call, and then our parents picking up stuff like that, and because of that, we didn't have a lot of friends calling us because we only had a house phone, not a cell phone. But you guys can disagree on this opinion. So I was thinking to myself one night when I couldn't go to sleep. I was like, are phones really that necessary and stuff like that? Because nowadays you see kids with like iPads at the age of 2. At the age of 2, the only thing I could get my hands on was
block of wood.
A block of wood or something like that.
Not even Legos.
Not even Legos. But yeah, that was mainly our entertainment. And nowadays,
remember when we were little, we used to go outside in the backyard and play stick rock. It was basically baseball, but with the stick and pebbles we had in the backyard.
I remember that. I broke a window. I broke one of our windows like that.
That was dangerous. We would just hit those off over the fences.
Back then you had to make up your own games, especially if you were freaking bored all the time like us. So, Stick Rock was a fun game, but it was a stupid game because I'm pretty sure we broke...
Because the rocks, we just hit them over fences and then they were gone. We didn't know where they went.
Yeah, we didn't know where they went. They're like, oh, that one's gone. That one went really far away. Let's try again. So, nowadays kids just have have the access to the internet incredibly easily, and because of that, I'm kind of, in my opinion, that this generation's kind of like spoiled in the internet, because if there's like, okay, if you guys heard of solar flares like that from the sun and stuff, it's like a blast of radiation energy that can disrupt electronics from Earth, especially since we're pretty close to the sun. We're the third planet closest to the sun, but because we're the third closest, we can actually get hit by the solar flares, and if they hit us, they can disrupt a ton of technology that can damage a lot of our infrastructure, which is kind of scary, but we deal with the fact that we live in the age of technology now. So if that ever happens, man, nothing. Basically, it's gonna be like a worldwide blackout, and it's not gonna be fixed for like a few years. Communication's gonna be down, shit like that, and basically a lot of things are gonna be like from the olden times.
You want chickens?
Chickens. Oh, I need chickens. Yeah, I get chickens just in case I could make an infinity bow and stuff like that. So yeah, phones, electronics nowadays, yeah, they're cool, but they're kind of, there should be like an age limit, maybe like to 8. Like you can let them watch videos, but that's it. All right, so I think that's it for today. We're gonna
just cut it.
Okay.